You're listening to Children of the Watch. I'm Mac Lacey.
And I'm Alex Maxwell, and today we are continuing with the Mandalorian Rewatch with Season 3, Chapter 20, The Foundling. We are 73 days away from The Mandalorian and Grogu. I cannot wait for it. If you're new to our podcast, we break down every single episode of Star Wars television, scene by scene, to analyze the story, find comb for Easter eggs, and explain how it all connects to the larger Star Wars universe. And today we are joined by some very special guests, the legendary Jason and Gabe from Blast Points. What's up, guys?
Hello.
What's up? Happy to be here. This is fun.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Guys, you guys are so fun. I love your podcast. I would love for our listeners to be introduced to you guys in terms of like, where could they find you? What are you guys all about? Do you know what you're about? What is it that you guys, I love your podcast. So I want to give you guys a chance to talk about it a little bit.
What do we do? Well, we have a Star Wars podcast. We come out every week. Every episode has a topic. Sometimes the topic is serious. Sometimes it's not, but we take it seriously.
Yeah.
We're familiar with that game over here.
Yeah. So, we're kind of obsessed with Star Wars. We like the weird stuff. We like the wild stuff.
Yeah.
We like when the Star Wars universe creeps into the real world in strange ways. But yeah, at the end of the day, we kind of just love it all and can't stop talking about it. Even if we try, we keep coming back.
Well, and this year is our 10-year anniversary of doing Blast Points, which is insane. And it's even more insane that Gabe and I have known each other for 32
like that.
32 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were roommates in college. And we really back then pushed each other into a level of Star Wars insanity that we've never recovered from.
Yeah.
And here we are. So
yeah, it's like as teenagers we got a little bit cooler and pushed the Star Wars to the side, and then when we met each other, it was kind of like, wait, I still like this nonsense, and you're like,
we all do.
I kind of do too. And it's been a downhill spiral ever since then for 30 years.
Yeah, I feel like we all kind of do that a little bit. I would love. Okay, so The Mandalorian and Grogu coming out really, really soon. We're here to revisit season 3 before the movie premiere. I just want to kind of get your thoughts. Just recently, we got an official image of Rada the Hutt.
Mm.
We got some information about him. We saw him. He's glorious. I want to get your thoughts on Rada, what he looks like, what your take on Rada.
I mean, anytime we can get a new Hutt is a good thing. If you've listened to our show at all, you know we've been obsessed with like 97 special edition Jabba.
Yeah.
So us bringing in another Hutt is definitely
That's
a
solid. That's awesome. Anyone who's watching on YouTube got treated to a lovely.
There he is.
Yeah.
There's Jabba. Looking as lifeless and soulless as he does in the 97 special edition.
yeah.
I love it. There's an element of like, I feel like his face design that kind of almost looks like the 1997 version of Jabba that I really appreciate.
Bit,
yeah. It's like father, like son. Yeah, let's take a good look at that. Yeah. I mean, if somebody was like, this is like the new Hasbro toy for Rada, you'd be like, okay, I guess. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Give him a sword.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that you can see kind of the character model for old Stinky from the Clone Wars movie in the Rada design. Like I think it's something in how the eyes are spaced. I think that's the main thing. But I'm like, that is the same little Hutt that we met in the Clone Wars movie.
True story. When Jason's daughter was born, I sent him a little onesie with Rada on it that said Stinky for his daughter, and he made her wear it. So
Perfect.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I have pictures of her wearing a little Rada the Hutt onesie.
That's incredible.
So we're ready. We're ready for him to come back. We've been waiting patiently all these years.
This is the moment. I cannot wait for this film. And like, I just feel too, like there's a sense of what they're showing us is just the surface level of what's actually going to be in the movie. Of like, I feel like Jon Favreau really likes to hold the cards close to the vest a little bit when it comes to the Mandalorian, and not reveal everything. I mean, you think back to the first episode of the Mandalorian, we had no idea that Grogu was even going to be a factor in this show, right? And so like to imagine, like I think there's going to be some like fun surprises in that movie that maybe we're not expecting. But like I can't help but wonder, like, why Rada the Hutt? Like, why is he involved? Why are the Hutts involved? What is going on with the twins? All that just gets my mind going, and I can't wait to see it all play out and maybe get a little more information on that before the movie even comes out too. I don't know.
Yeah, we really have no idea what's going on, but I think that's been the Mandalorian, like you said, since the beginning. Every season it's like you kind of don't know what's going on until you watch it. And even when they would release the trailers, it was only for like usually like the first few episodes. And once you got in the back half of the season, you had no idea what was going to show up.
Never.
Yeah.
All right.
I definitely think there's going to be some surprises. I can't wait. But we should get into
let's do it.
The breakdown.
Let's do it. This is such a fun episode, and I'm glad you guys are on this one with us. This is chapter 20, The Foundling. The director is the late great Carl Weathers. The writers for this one are both Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. And we started off with the quick recap, kind of just reminding us who Ragnar is. He's speaking the creed. We also are reminded that Bo-Katan witnessed the mythosaur down in the living waters. But it also notably omits Grogu's earlier Order 66 flashback from the Book of Boba Fett. But then we open up with morning on the covert world. Mandalorians just training, like everybody, it's training day, get up, we're all just going to be firing blasters into a lake randomly. We're going to be fighting each other behind the caves. I love everything about this whole opening sequence.
We joked about it when it came out, and I'll joke about it again. Like, Alex and I are from the South. We've been to this party. Like, this is familiar.
Yeah, this is like a Saturday thing that people do.
Well, yeah, Gabe and I both grew up on the west side of Michigan, which is like a lot of beaches. And yeah, it reminds us. It's kind of like a beach party. Like we on Blast Points, we always refer to this as Boba Fett Beach Party because when we did our episode on it, we were just like, "This is the craziest thing in the world," because it's a bunch of Boba Fetts when you get down to it, just on a beach, just doing Boba Fett stuff. And they're taking off. Guys are shooting rockets. People are fighting. Everybody's doing all the Boba Fett stuff. And even when I rewatched this episode to get ready, and it was so fun. But I was just like, man, look at all those Boba Fett's doing Boba Fett stuff. Yeah. I love it.
Everything Boba Fett has ever done is all happening at once in a different part of the beach,
which is great. We love that. It's really kind of incredible to see. As my favorite thing is that they're just shooting into the lake at nothing. Like there's nothing that they're actually shooting at. They're just shooting at the lake, which is super fun. Bo-Katan observes very quietly. She still hasn't taken her helmet off from her encounter with the mythosaur. So she's still kind of adhering to the Children of the Watch way of doing things. But then we also notice that Grogu is sitting alone among what we think at first are stones that turn out to be crabs. I really like this because it's almost like going back to where he was on Tython when he was calling out into the Force. He's got the stones kind of around him, kind of in that same sort of visual pattern a little bit. But I also think that it also like echoes like he's really in touch with nature itself, I feel like, because like these are crabs, and we saw him tame the Rancor. We saw like his interaction with nature in seasons 1 and 2. Like, I don't know. There's just something about this, like, especially when he gets up and leaves and all the crabs just go back into the ocean. There's something about this of like, I feel like they're trying to visually tell us like he is very much connected to nature, kind of almost very like Yoda is on Dagobah. There's something just inherent about that with Grogu that I think is really, really cool.
Yeah, and we see in the trailer for the movie, wherever Grogu's little quest goes, he's, if that's the same planet he's on, or if he's on a different planet, or however that happens, it's all nature. It's all green and vines and and that's interesting. I'm glad you said that with Yoda, because I was thinking, I wonder if that is something, whatever that species is, if that is something connected to their species, of how they connect to the Force. That's interesting.
I want to get your guys' opinion on this. We talked about this on our trailer breakdown, but like there's a moment in the trailer where Grogu is sitting on a log and it looks like he's meditating. We were wondering, like, would it be possible? Would it be, I don't know, kind of cool if maybe a Force ghost Yoda had a conversation with him at some point? Do you think that's possible?
I never thought about that. Anything's possible. That's the thing we've learned from the Favreau Filoni shows.
That's exactly
anything
right.
is possible. We've talked about that a million times. Like,
I guess maybe the question then should be, is it likely?
All bets are off, but it could be. But I never thought about that. That would be a very interesting visual to see, the two of them talking. Also, if depending, like based on Rebels kind of bringing Yoda back in a different style, if Mando brought Yoda back, would it be like, what would the Yoda ghost look like? Would it be the Last Jedi puppet? Would it be the CG one? Would it be a whole new take? Would it be a new Yoda puppet that looks like old Grogu or something? I don't know.
I kind of hope that they go with the Rebels version, just literally just put the Rebels animation in there. That would be cool.
Yeah, it would work.
They're all about puppets. Bring back Phantom Menace Yoda,
Yeah.
Bring it back.
I'm one of the few that I think Phantom Menace puppet Yoda was underrated. I actually prefer it to CG.
Yeah, I do too.
I think we didn't realize what we had when we had it, and in hindsight, it's like we actually had it pretty good.
I do miss Phantom Menace Yoda. Like, there was just something very fun about his hair that I really appreciated.
Yeah. One other thing about Grogu sitting here with the rocks and everything. I think the episode kind of starts with this to emotionally frame what's happening with Grogu, because he has, the last big story beat we've gotten with him was making the choice to come back to Mando after training with Luke for a little bit. But I don't know that he's really gotten fully integrated into Mandalorian culture and like really dived into like what that means day to day. So here he's amongst the rocks that he's kind of looking at and remembering, stacking rocks with the Force with Luke and all of that stuff. So I think it's sort of to frame that he still has a little bit of a way to go to actually get like integrated into this new culture, into this new family that he's chosen to join.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because it's kind of going into the next scene of with the darts and stuff. Like, he really seems like he doesn't know what to do, and he's not back in Mandalorian mode. He's still off somewhere, thinking about Luke and frogs and the Force and meditating and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
When we see him like connecting with nature, having a moment, doing his own thing with the Force, and I thought it was kind of interesting that Din is kind of like, okay, that's enough. Let's do some serious Mandalorian training. Let's put on this gear and let's shoot darts and stuff. And I almost wonder if it's something we've talked about a lot with the Mandalorian, is it's kind of like the Din is almost looking at it as like, okay, well, you're gonna to train to be a Mandalorian, even though you're a small little green thing. And this is what you do. This is the path you take to train to be a Mandalorian. And I think Grogu's path and Din's path, it's both kind of, I think they're realizing through the course of the show and probably the movie too, that their paths aren't exactly straight lines. And I think Din, you see that in the whole course of the show, that it's kind of like, well, I'm being a Mandalorian means this, and I'm going to follow this. And we talked about this with our trailer breakdown, is I wonder if so much of him in the trailer not having the helmet is kind of forced to be like, maybe Din, maybe you need to rethink this whole thing. Maybe being a Mandalorian isn't just these rules. Maybe it's something deeper than that you have to come to understand on your own. And that's something, it's a very, very, very Star Wars thing. It's Luke, it's Anakin, it's Rey, and you can go back to George Lucas, his dad, you're going to work in my stationery store, and that's what you're going to do. And film school, that's insane. How can you dare, and it's a Star Wars thing of, you got to choose your own path. And that path may not be the black and white straight line that others will tell you that it is. And I don't know. I feel like that's kind of hinting at that. I was saying to Gabe before we started recording that, this episode, as wacky and goofy as it is, I was saying it might be one of the most important episodes of The Mandalorian to watch before the movie comes out.
Yep.
Because I was picking up on that theme, and then some of the stuff we're going to talk about, I'm sure, later. It's like, wow, who would have guessed that the Foundling was one of the most crucial episodes?
No, I'm right there with you. I think a huge theme for the Founding in general is just like unification, and it's Grogu being fully integrated into the covert. It's Din and Paz Vizsla learning to kind of set aside their differences and their sort of rivalry they have to come together, and Bo-Katan jumping in with these people that last season she was calling, cultists and zealots, to kind of put aside the surface level things and get down to, Jason, like what you were saying, is there's this, like, what does it really mean to be Mandalorian besides just all these rules and this technicality? And the one thing that everyone in this episode can all agree on and all jumps in together to do is to save this Foundling. And I think that's, Din's whole mission and journey in the show, and his character with Grogu. And I think it's instrumental to tell you what Mandalorians are all about, how, for the rest of this season, how are we going to get a united Mandalore to kind of take it back, and then all of this kind of stuff. So I'm right there with you, Jason. It is like, on the surface, it's kind of just a fun action-y episode, but I think there's some really, deeper themes going on too.
Well, they take the theme to the extreme of, at the end, they become family with the evil dinosaur bird, because they become the mom to the babies. Like, they don't even leave that. That's even another level to, like, the Mandalorians are all one family. Let's all be in our family. Let's all work together.
Yeah.
Even our enemies can become our children at some point, kind of thing. So yeah, even the goofy stuff follows through on the theme.
Yeah. That's a really, really good point. So yeah, Din brings Grogu to start training. Like, hey, look at all the fun we're having right now. We want you to do this too. And he puts him up against Ragnar Vizsla, and Ragnar's just dominating another opponent. He's the big kid. He's doing all his stuff. And Din declares, your next challenger. And Bo starts to question if he's a little too small for this. Like, is he actually ready for this? But Din insists that growth comes from challenge. Like, this is part of, like you were saying, Jason, this is what we do as Mandalorians, it's time for him to start training like one. I've got him back, right? Like, he's not with Luke. He chose me. So we're going to do the Mandalorian stuff. And so the judge kind of hesitates a little bit of like, are you guys sure about this? But Grogu is Din's ward, so the match proceeds. And so they start choosing weapons, and they're going to do training darts. But Ragnar mocks Grogu's lack of helmet, of like, okay, he just got his helmet like 2 episodes ago. You know what I mean? Like, let's calm down a little bit, Ragnar. But I think that's also part of like, he is also supposed to be learning this lesson too of what does it mean to actually be Mandalorian? Even as he's taken later from this flying raptor thing, he's having to learn the lesson too, and be humbled a little bit. And Din explains, too young to speak the creed, too young to wear a helmet. And Din has some more wisdom. One does not speak unless one knows. Kind of tells Ragnar off a little bit of like, let's see what happens. And
I think he's making the point that like being a Mandalorian it's not from having the helmet and stuff. It's living the way and following the creed. And that has to come before you have the helmet kind of deal. So it's like, let's not get the cart in front of the horse. It's again, kind of stripping away some of those technicalities and some of those rules and like getting to what is the core of this thing.
Yeah. So they go off at each other after Bo encourages Grogu. She also mentions like, hey, my dad was kind of the same. Don't worry about it. You just do your best. Okay. And Ragnar scores twice and he's reveling in it. And then Din gives a little pep talk to Grogu. I've seen what you can do. Show them. And this seems to be something consistent with Grogu in all 3 seasons. And I'm wondering if this is also going to be part of the movie where Grogu has a ton of power, but he's very hesitant to do like show that power. Like it's like it has to be unlocked. It has to like almost be given permission for him to do it. And then once he does, everyone's like, oh, that's a big deal. So he uses the Force to jump and then flip back. I love the little puppet jumping. It's so up and down. And then like I'm not really sure like how the rules work, but like Grogu just pops off 3 darts at the same time. It seems like Ragnar didn't do that. Like he could have, but Grogu wins. So like, I'm not really sure how the rules work on this little training dart exercise, but go Grogu. Good job.
I don't know if he's getting any sportsmanship points for that move. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. So Bo asks if Din trained him. He says no. And then Paz and the armor are watching from afar. And Ragnar storms off. He's embarrassed, right? But as Ragnar lingers by the water again, a massive raptor swoops in and takes. I don't know who chose this planet for the covert, but it is a terrible choice because there was a crocodile in the water.
You got Gamera's in the lake. You got Rodans in the sky. Yeah. Like this is a terrible place to call home.
That way, then no one would think anyone would live there. So hopefully
that's true.
No one will find them because they're hiding on the horrible dinosaur planet.
Yeah, maybe that's kind of the point. Like they're the only people who can hang because they're Mandalorians.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're tough enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So this happened before the watch keep. So this is kind of crazy. There's kind of an implication like. This has happened before.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And no one's ever come back from it, from my understanding. Like, I think that there's probably some.
Sorry, kids.
Some Beskar armor hanging out in some nests places.
Yeah. So Din is stopped from firing, risk of killing Ragnar. They take off in their jetpacks, but the fuel runs low pretty quickly, and Paz notes that the creature always escapes. And then Bo arrives in her ship, chasing it toward the sun. We get that pretty cool shot before we go to the title credits. So what'd you guys think about the whole raptor attack, Ragnar? What's your thoughts on that?
I love the fact that even though I know it's going to happen, it still takes me by surprise. Like rewatching it, I'm like, oh yeah, here comes the bird thing's going to take him. Yeah, I love it. It just ramps up the tension in the most outrageous way. And I think that's, the magic of this episode is it's very deep, it's very thematic, and it's just crazy fun, which, as far as I remember, that's always been the Mandalorian. So it's like, I don't get this, season 3 feels so different. And it's like, this is the same stuff. It's, it's crazy. It's kind of always been like this. I think I love it.
I just remember every time I watch it, I remember the very first time I watched it where it was the Boba Fett Beach Party. And I was like, this is ridiculous. This is insane. I love this so much. I love this show. And then, yeah, the dinosaur bird, the raptor, Rodan, comes out. It's just like, for real? Wow. Okay, that's where we're going in this episode. I'm all for it. Sign me up. Let's do it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's it's Dave Filoni reminding you, like, hey, I wrote this one. Let's put some Godzilla creatures and let's have a bunch of Mandalorians chasing after a big flying monster.
Yeah.
My name is Dave Filoni. I will sign at the bottom. I wrote this. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So then we open back up and they're trying to do a rescue plan, and Bo tracks the raptor to its mountain nest. They have a strategy meeting. They can't do jetpacks for the ascent because of the noise risk, of course. They're going to climb at dawn, so they know exactly where it's at. And Din joins the war party. Shriek-Hawk training team included. These are some of my favorite side Mandalorians, just FYI. There's a specific blue helmeted Mandalorian, white stripe on the left side that is the coolest looking Mandalorian I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just want to thank whoever designed that for doing that. So
Alex has posters of this Mandalorian like up, not even on his wall, like above his bed, so he can just lay and look at them as he's falling asleep.
Yeah.
A blue stripe or white stripe left side comes up with shocking frequency on this podcast.
He's so cool. He's so cool. I mean, the color scheme, the green, the blue, the kind of little side leg capes that he has. I mean, come on. There's just a presence about him that is just wow. Okay.
Well, and I know we love any scene where Star Wars characters look at a hologram map. That's
of course.
Anytime people are looking at a hologram map, it's like, okay, here we go. Now we're doing some Star Wars.
Yeah, this is Star. I'm kind of shocked that they didn't dress up as baby raptors to get Ragnar
to infiltrate the nest.
Infiltrate the nest.
Could have been cool. That could have been very cool.
Well, they didn't have a ship large enough to lure the raptors into to knock them out and then take their costumes.
Take their skin.
That's always plan A in Star Wars.
Yeah. But I really like this scene as they're all planning. The armor, I guess, is on babysitting duty with Grogu. And I love this scene that it kind of indicates to us, because I don't know about you guys, but there's always been kind of a sense with the armor. She definitely knows way more than what she's always like leading on, right? Like it's not until like people start asking her questions that she starts answering very vaguely and almost prophetic kind of tones of like, what? You knew this the whole time? Like, yeah, of course. So there's always been kind of a sense with her of like, can we trust her? I don't know if we can trust her fully, because she just knows so much, but doesn't always give that information out. And so I really like this scene in particular because I think it shows she is not someone who is out to get anybody or like shouldn't be trusted. I think she's just this wise Mandalorian sage, this almost Obi-Wan like character to Din. And now she's on babysitting duty with Grogu, and you get to kind of see maybe a little different aspect of her. And she is training Grogu in the way as she kind of goes to the forge and explains the importance of the forge. And as she's making his little pauldron thing, she's explaining the forge can reveal weaknesses, and he's watching. He gets the saddest looking face I've ever seen on Grogu as we kind of zoom in on him. And then we get a very, very interesting Order 66 flashback that I remember when we watched this the first time, I was not ready for this. What did you guys think of this whole Kelleran Beck showing up, this Order 66 flashback, getting all that?
I think it kept building in intensity that it was like it was almost too much to process at the time, because it was like, oh, we get a flashback. Okay, this is intense. wait, he's in an elevator. Who's going to be there? Oh no, it's Ahmed Best as Kelleran Beck. Okay, this is kind of insane. Wait, now there's clone troopers. Wait, now he's in a speeder bike on Coruscant. Okay, wait, is that a Naboo ship? Wait, are those Naboo soldiers that just kept going and going and going?
It's like, how far are we about to go with this?
Yeah. You're just kind of in the chair shaking.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's the thing where it on a fan level, getting to see Ahmed Best doing that is just it's so heartwarming, and it's so like, yes, that is so awesome. We love you, Ahmed Best, so much.
Yes.
But then it's like, okay, wait, you take it back out of like the real world looking at it. Oh yeah, and like, Tem doing the voice of clone troopers and stuff, and you're like, oh, I love it so much. Even though we've had it before, but again, it's like, oh, and then the sound of Naboo blasters and all this stuff. But then you're like, well, wait, okay, Kelleran Beck, why Naboo Starfighter, or Naboo ship, like same kind of ship as like the Queen ship. Why? Why Naboo? Where did they go? Who on, Kelleran Beck, he knew specifically to get Grogu out of there. And then it's like, I'm still like, okay, that's amazing. That's crazy. And they seemingly, it sure seems like they went to Naboo. Maybe. Or is that too obvious?
I would think.
Yeah.
I think that's at least what they're plugging into the hyperdrive. Whether or not they made it there, that's another question. Because, we do have to find Grogu in the hands of the underworld on Arvala 7 at some point.
Which is something I think about all the time. Like, how did these like weirdo bounty hunter guys end up with him? And the Werner Herzog and everybody wanted him so bad. There's still a lot of big questions that I hope get talked about one day. But this I don't know. I'm like Gabe said, we weren't ready for it. I don't think we're still. I don't think we're still ready for it. I'm still processing it.
Okay, if it's the Queen's shuttle, did the Queen send the Queen's shuttle? Like, are they using that ship because that's the only model they have, or are they using that ship because it's Padme? It is Padme's ship from Attack of the Clones, and she was like, go over there. I can see what's going on. I know what's going on. I got an inside track on this. Things aren't so great over there.
So that's a great question. So we debated this when this came out of like, okay, there's 3 candidates that we know who are from Naboo. One, your first thought is Padme sent this because, this is definitely, it looks like her ship from Attack of the Clones, that version of it. And of course we see the Naboo guards. You would think, okay, maybe Padme sent it. But then when you think about what she was doing in Revenge of the Sith at this time, I don't know if she was in the state to even send that or like think about that. So then the next candidate would be Jar Jar. Of like, okay, maybe it's him. Maybe he sent the ship because he's a Naboo senator, right? Like it could be him. The third,
you got put your tinfoil hats on for this.
Yeah, get ready for this one.
Yeah,
get ready for this one. The third candidate would be like almost kind of like I'm going to entrap you. This Palpatine's in it because he's also from Naboo, and he wanted Grogu and not killed, and maybe he wanted to kind of trick everybody into here, get on the ship. This is safe. And it's not. I don't think that it's that, but it did pop in my brain, so I had to say it. But my mind goes to, I think it's Jar Jar. Because when you have Ahmed Best as Kelleran Beck, I think it would be really cool one day to see a scene of Kelleran handing Grogu off to Jar Jar.
Yeah.
So it's just Ahmed Best doing a scene with himself.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I mean, I hadn't thought about the Emperor, and that's very compelling. But you could even say that the Emperor told Jar Jar to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of fits into Jar Jar, being manipulated by Palpatine because he he's wanted to do what's right. He wants to do the nice thing. And if the evil guy tells him to do something that appears nice, then, he would do it. So, I don't know. I'm going to be thinking about that for a while now.
Mull that one over. Yeah.
Yeah. There goes my weekend.
Yeah. What do you think, Jason?
No, I think they're all really interesting. Yeah, Jar Jar would make a lot of sense where it's like Jar Jar could be okay. Naboo fighters, we need like a backup and park the ship far enough away. And Keller and Beck, like we know that Keller and Beck and Jar Jar know each other,
right?
And Keller and go, get. I wonder if it was, but I wonder if it was specifically Grogu. Was Keller in there specific? Right? It kind of seems like that.
Yeah. And so, like, part of me wonders then, too, that's why I brought up the Yoda thing earlier of like, well, they have no connection, but we actually don't know if they don't have it. Like, we have no idea if they have a connection kind of based on how mysterious Grogu's past is, right? Like, this could have been even orders from Yoda of like, get him out of here, specifically him. Like the contingency plan. I don't know. Like, but it to me, it did seem like Keller and Beck was there only for Grogu and to get him out.
Well, and it's interesting too, because inside the temple, nobody knew this was coming. Nobody knew that, like, Yoda's off on Utapau, and he senses that something's going down. But inside the temple, like, even we saw an acolyte, like, it's just chaos. Nobody knows. Nobody had time to evacuate. So the fact that Kelleran is out there and there's a Naboo ship already there that went all the way from Naboo to Coruscant, and you got to admit, it's like the Order 66 thing happened fairly quickly.
Yes.
It would have to have. So not as many Jedi could escape.
Right.
So that's really interesting. That almost makes me wonder if Padme did pick up the phone.
Maybe. Because
she would have known. She would be like one of the only people that could have had maybe a heads up, unless it was Palpatine.
Right.
Like Alex, like your theory.
Yeah.
Like he's like, yeah, kill all the Jedi except for that
him.
Little baby Yoda.
He's too cute. We can't do that. That's a bridge too far.
Palpatine is obsessed with Force babies. That's, I mean, get back to Clone Wars, right?
No, I mean, Mount Tantus. That could already be like a thing that he's planning and doing. Of like, and Grogu maybe even was one of the first Mount Tantus kids, that we see in the Bad Batch.
Well,
so,
because if he's a Yoda species, they're babies forever. Yeah. It's like the ultimate baby because like they're babies for 100 years. Like,
this is perfect.
Yeah, like a forever puppy kind of deal.
Yeah. If I can only have one baby, it's the one that's a baby forever.
Yeah. I don't know, but so like every season 1, we learned a little bit about Grogu's background. Season 2, we learned a little bit more. Season 3, we get this. I'm fully expecting kind of another chapter in Grogu's past in the movie that is called The Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah. And, I think Grogu's going to have a lot of autonomy in this film, that he's going to be doing things on his own. And I think totally in the scene where it looks like he is meditating, I think maybe he will have another flashback at some point, and we might see the continuation and pick up right where we leave off in this flashback in the movie. So like you were saying at the beginning of the episode, Jason, this is a really important episode for the movie for several different reasons.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like you were saying with the armorer making his little his chest thing.
Yeah.
And in the trailer, even in the trailer, there's him like tightening that up, and he's got the wrist start thing. I mean, I think these are like training wrist starts that they're having the Boba Fett Beach Party with, but still, he learned to do the wrist starts in this episode.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. It's got my mind working again in terms of even going back to if it was Padme and it was specifically to get Grogu out, that means Padme knows who Grogu is. That means Anakin knows who Grogu is. Like, what is up with Grogu? Why is he so important, specifically him? What's the deal? So we don't really have the answers to that. And then, like you said, Mac, how did he end up in the underworld's hands on Arvala 7, which I think is kind of a big deal heading into a movie that seems the villains are the underworld huts and stuff. So it's like, I don't know, all this might be answered in the movie, or at least closer to answers before we get it all. So yeah, so the flashback ends. Grogu receives a Beskar rondelle with the Mudhorn signet on it, and we learn that Foundlings inherit leftover Beskar. It's to me, it was really symbolic that he will grow into both armor and identity. Like, he's not quite there yet, but he will eventually get there. And I think this whole scene, like I was saying it earlier, reinforces the armorer's sincerity, because there was kind of a underlying question of like, who is she? And there's always that theory of, is she rook cast? And that might come up again and Maul Shadow Lord, we'll see. But like, I think this scene does a lot of legwork to show us like, no, she's sincere in what she's saying, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's even more reinforced too with the conversation she has with Bo later that we'll get to. But yeah, she just seems like more of a she's occupying that like archetypical role of Merlin in the hero's journey kind of thing. She's a guide. She's more she does give the sense of being a little omniscient. Like, she kind of knows more than everyone else that the story is happening to, but only for the purpose of being able to guide the actual heroes kind of through that. She's like, she almost seems like, she's just a watcher kind of character. Like, she monitors, she knows, and guides and instructs, but doesn't intervene directly. I don't think we're ever going to find out that she's secretly plotting anything against Bo-Katan or trying to take over Mandalore for herself. I don't think any of that will ever develop. I think we can pretty reliably trust her as just the spiritual guide for the Mandalorians.
Yeah, for sure. She's a fun character.
One other thing with that scene that I always like is just the way it's shot and framed, where when she's talking about the forge and everything, Grogu is like in the distance and the forge is in the foreground, and it almost looks like the forge is like forging Grogu. Like, it's very, visual about him kind of being formed, as well as her dialogue. I know, it's just, Carl Weathers did a great job on this episode, and it's like, it's all puppets and nonsense, but it's like directed really, really well and very it's seriously directed, even though the what you're looking at isn't always serious.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, to your point, that is a credit to Carl Weathers. I think that experience of having been in the industry and just been involved in telling stories as long as he has, you can definitely feel that here.
For sure. So then we cut to the mountain climb. We get a night camp scene, and Bo learns Mandalorians eat alone when removing their helmets. I think this is one of those aspects, like, she's kind of observing of like, ooh, this is like, there's a lot of cool things about maybe the Children of the Watch, but this is one of those things, in my opinion, it's like, no, now everyone has to like scatter. Like, what is normally considered like when you eat food with your family, that's like a really important time. No, you have to do this alone because no one can see you without your helmet on. Right. And so I think this is kind of one of those harsh, isolating tenets of the Watch that she's experiencing. And as leader, Bo must sit by the fire, but she's still eating alone. And so she kind of just fully commits to the creed here of like, I guess I'm in a cult now. I'm as it happens, like, oops.
Like, I think that is pretty much how people end up in cults. Is
right? Like, I guess
no one sets out to join a cult. That's never happened once. So
yeah, right. So then when dawn comes, they ascend the mountain via grappling hooks, which is super fun. They do the Batman and Robin climb up the building thing.
I wish they
really
did
cool.
just shoot. They just turned the camera horizontal and had a bunch of Mandalorians walking along a downstage, pulling themselves along with a cable, and just rotated the shot. I think that would have been, that fits in with the retro homages that the Mandalorian does.
I don't think anyone's used the volume yet to do sideways wall walking, so it would have been great for the behind the scenes too.
What are we doing? Let's get on that. Come on.
Yeah.
I love too in this episode with like all the the deep stuff. We're just minutes away from still recovering from all the Naboo and the Kelleran Beck and the Order 66 stuff, but they spend so much time with showing shots of Mandalorians climbing up the side of a mountain.
It's so much.
Well, because they know we like to look at it. Because
I know we do, and it's like every time I watch it, I'm just like, oh, this is so cool. Mandalorians climbing up the side of a mountain. I love it.
We know they have a wrist thing that shoots a rope out, so it's like, what else can they do with the rope? They can wrap up people. They can climb mountains. It's like, this is awesome.
These guys can do it all.
Yeah. That's so
there's
cool.
something there's like this magnetism that the general design, the original Boba Fett design that's now been extrapolated to all Mandalorians. It's that same like. This is a weird thing, but that same kind of like pull that big cats have over people. Like there's just something that like humans are obsessed with cats, and like no matter how dangerous or like no matter how many bad things have happened by people's proximity to big cats, there's just something that draws us to them. The Mandalorian design is like visual big cats for humans, I think.
It is.
It's like fireworks. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's just so good. And I think it's so cool too, just to like see more than just, one or two doing it. It's like a whole squadron of Mandalorians doing their thing. Something like, you always dream about, especially like in the 90s in the EU and stuff of like, you're reading about Mandalorians and how they work together, but we've never actually visually seen it. And now like we are feasting. We're watching them climb a mountain together, which is just incredible. Like I love it.
This whole episode's like an all-you-can-eat buffet of Mandalorian stuff, because it's almost like more than you can handle, but you don't regret the stomach ache when it's over.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. So they discover the nest. The heat signature is detected, and Paz Vizsla just charges right in, and he confirms that it's his son. We don't know if it's like blood or adoption. And to Mandalorians, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing, right? It's not a big deal. But the hatchlings attack before they can get there, and then the adult raptor regurgitates Ragnar for feeding, which is
okay.
This we kind of pitched a story of like, I would love to see adult Ragnar like in the sequel trilogy era, because this kid has been through some like Hercules level things here. Like this kid is going through it.
Yeah. That moment to me, every time I watch it, I forget about it until it happens, and every time it's like, oh yeah, he's been but it's the Beskar. Good thing he's got the Beskar on, because it's Raptor stomach proof.
If I had a nickel for every time that Star Wars proved Beskar could withstand stomach acid, I'd have 2 nickels, and that's not a lot, but it's crazy that it's happened twice.
Yeah.
I like thinking about somebody who's like, okay, I haven't watched these episodes since they come out. The movie's coming out. I'm going to rewatch all the Mandalorian. And what was the previous week, the Dr. Pershing, the Convert?
Yeah.
If somebody watched the Convert and it's like, okay, the next one's only like 30 something minutes. Let's do the next one. Like the tonal shift, somebody would like break a bone. Like just the whiplash, like, whoa.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But that's the Mandalorian.
Yeah, it is. It's the Star Wars variety show. I love the range of tones and different levels of emotional depth that all these episodes could have. It really contributes to that. Just like you don't know what you're gonna get, and that's exciting. Feeling.
Yeah. Week to week, who knows?
I think even in that scene is so great. Is it's like that scene just keeps getting more and more intense and outrageous. But then by the end, when like Vizsla's like, we're I forgot what he says, but they're basically buddies at the end. It's like
Yeah.
you kind of get emotional. You're like, oh, they're buddies again. Oh yeah, they're both dads. Like it gets you in the heart,
Dads.
even though you're like you can't believe what you're watching.
Yeah, it's just it's wild. I love it. Yeah, so Paz launches to save him, right? Ragnar and Paz are both seized then, and then all the Mandalorians are like, jetpack time. Let's do this. We've been waiting for this moment. They're awake. Let's do it. Yeah. So they pursue in midair. Bo loses fuel, drops a pauldron off, recovers, Din cables a wing and dives blade fit first. It's just incredible, like really smart thinking on Din's part. Ragnar falls, and then Din rocket dives and catches him midair, and the raptor crashes into the lake. And then, of course, the crocodile turtle devours it. Always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish. That's exactly what I thought when that happened.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace, baby.
Yeah. And so then Paz thanks Din, and they get a mutual, this is the way.
Yeah.
And that is very satisfying to see these two kind of frenemies make up, right? Because the last time that they were together, specifically just them two, was in the book of Boba Fett. And when Din revealed, I took my helmet off and I still have the Darksaber. That's, like Paz hates him for like multiple reasons of like, you just abandoned what we all stand for, and you have the thing that is most important to me and my family specifically.
And blames him for the death of most of the covert in season 1. Din's the reason why they had to come out and fight the Empire in the open, or not the Empire, but all that. So
right. No, it's
again, it's just going back to I think this episode is super big to get a unified Mandalore together for the rest of the season. Like, if you don't have this episode, Mandalore is still fractured, I think. So
right. Then we get a bracer clapping welcome, which is that's always fun. That's a good welcome, I think. Right. Ragnar reunited with Paz, and the armor declares saving a foundling is the highest honor of the creed, and Bo has honored her house and Mandalore. And then, like you said, they bring the 3 baby raptors because they're also foundlings. And so they just love to take anybody, and I wonder if they're going to get Mandalorian armor at some point. And
I've thought about that way too much. I really hope so. I hope they show up in the movie.
Right? Like, and like they're adult and they're grown and they're flying them. Like, that would be so cool.
Yeah. It's like Game of Thrones. It's like they've got dragons now.
Yes.
Like we could see Mandalorians flying dragons. Like, yes.
Come on.
Yes and yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And so like somebody's on the mythosaur, and then you got the 3 raptors behind it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, and you brought up riding the mythosaur. It's kind of, as we've been doing the rewatch, we've gone back and forth a little bit. We've talked about it with our guests and stuff. After the next scene we're about to talk about, there's no doubt in my mind that it will be Bo-Katan riding the mythosaur eventually. I'm saying it right now. I think that they're like starting even with putting her by the fire as the leader of this war party, and kind of being alone in the honor, but also the burden of leadership and stuff like that. Later, the armorer like acknowledges and points out that Bo-Katan's kind of walking this different path than everybody else, the path of the Mandalore. And then also just with the her choice of sigil for her replacement pauldron and all of that. I think it's just foreshadowing. It'll be Bo-Katan.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced. I think she is the most likely candidate, but I can't help but see Grogu doing it for some reason. For the same reasons we talked at the earlier episode. Like, he just has this connection with, it seems, nature and animals and stuff. And I keep picturing like a little open visored helmet on him, and he's just going into battle.
That's true.
That would be cool. I don't know.
Mac. I'm with you. I think the Duchess Satine of it all. I think Bo-Katan is the rightful ruler of Mandalore, and I think she's the one that can unite all the clans and everything, and I think she deserves it at this point. She's seen the mythosaur.
Right.
That's a big deal.
It's like to me, it was like the mythosaur revealed itself to her. Like she's the only one who's seen it. Like I think it grabbed Din and pulled him down in the last episode into the waters, or 2 ago, whenever it was. I think the mythosaur pulled it down just so Bo-Katan would have to go in and be set on this whole path that she's now walking. But
that's a fun thought. Like a sentient mythosaur, like Bendu like creature for
or at
Mandalore.
At least like whatever the armor, kind of that prophecy, the vision type thing, whatever she's picking up on, the mythosaur is also in on. Like it's kind of part of that whole thing. I don't know.
The Force works in mysterious ways. So Bo, go ahead.
I think Jason and I were trying to talk about when that episode came. Like, would the mythosaur talk? Like, is hello? Like you don't. But it's almost like the bringing up the Bendu, where it's like you look at it, and you're like, oh, it's a big, it's a big creature, but it's Star Wars. It very well could be completely sentient and talking, and like,
absolutely.
I'm a mythosaur. Pleased to meet you, Bo-Katan. Like, I don't know. It might not happen, but it's hard not to think about.
I would love it. I think that would be super cool. So the armorer forges Bo a new pauldron. She kind of offers the Night Owl symbol to her because she knows that's her symbol. But Bo chooses the mythosaur instead because it's the symbol of all Mandalorians, right? And I think that probably is an indicator of like, hey, I had this experience with the mythosaur. I am learning what it means to be Mandalorian from a very different perspective. And it is up to me to unite all Mandalorians under one banner. And I can't just be the Night Owls anymore. I've got to represent all Mandalorians. And so that mythosaur is a big deal for her, right? In terms of the character growth, everything that we've seen her go through in the Clone Wars, Rebels, and then now here in seasons 2 through 3. I think this is a huge step for Bo. And I think this is her kind of realizing I do have to do something. I can't just have a fractured Mandalorian people anymore. We got to bring all clans together. So you guys are probably right that it's going to be her on the mythosaur. But I really love this final exchange between Bo and the armorer. Bo kind of brings up like, hey, what would you say if I did see a mythosaur? And the armorer says, it's a noble vision. And Bo's like, no, I saw a real one. And the armorer is like, when you walk the way of Mandalore, you will see many things. But Bo's like, no, it was real.
okay, but it was real though. Like it was there.
And the armor is like, this is the way. And like that's the fun thing about the armor is like you don't know if she believes Bo or not. Like, and to the armor, I don't know if it matters because I think she sees there is actual change in Bo.
And we don't really know if she really saw it either because she's the only one who saw it. So
that's true.
We are the armorer in that scene as well too. Like
it could be the living water. It could be something in the water that like totally makes you see things or like have visions of things. That could be the thing. It might not even been there.
Yeah. I do want to point out that so in the subtitles and everything, I wanted to make sure when the armorer says when you walk the way of the Mandalore, it's spelled like the position, not like the planet or like the people.
Yeah.
It's got the comma or the apostrophe in there. It is the way of the Mandalore.
Change the notes there.
Like a she
title.
is like the armorer is acknowledging that like Bo-Katan's also on the journey that she is. Like I think the armorer fully sees it, and kind of Alex, to your point, like I don't know that it matters too much to the armorer. Like I think the things that she says are visions and could be real, and they're just kind of visions to her. It's all part of this same.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But,
That's really cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, final thoughts on this episode, gentlemen. How's this sit with you now as we get closer to the Mandalorian and Grogu? What's going through your mind? Where do we sit and stand with the Foundling?
I mean, rewatching this episode got me so much more. Like, I was already looking forward to Mando and Grogu the movie, but rewatching this episode recently was like more than watching the trailer. Like, oh yeah, this is what the show is like. The movie's going to be like this, but even bigger, even longer. So it reminded me why I love the show and got me so pumped up for the movie to come out and get back into this world and see it on an even bigger screen.
Yeah.
And just imagining the fun that Favreau is going to come up with to show, because he's weirder than he lets on. He's a crazy dude deep down inside. So
For sure.
Yeah, I love this show. I've always loved The Mandalorian. I cannot wait for the movie. You guys are doing it the smart way, where you're doing it week by week, but we're going to do Mandalorian, where every week is going to be a season, which is absolutely insane. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but I can't wait. I'm going to rewatch, like I was saying with the convert in this, I'm going to rewatch all of The Mandalorian, and I'm really excited because, kind of like Gabe was saying, like we love this show, and I just love this episode. And
it's so good.
This episode is like a fine wine. It's aging really well. Like we said, it's one of the most important episodes of the show ever. I don't know how that happened. Somehow it is. And I just love it. Any excuse to rewatch any episode of The Mandalorian is a treat. And and bring on May. I cannot wait.
For real. How crazy is it that we have a Star Wars movie coming out in 2 months? Like,
I know.
2 months.
I know. It's like, and then technically, in just about a year and some change, 2 more Star Wars movies. If you count A New Hope in there, which it counts.
Yeah. Well, it is a new old version, so it's kind of like a whole new movie.
That's a great point. And like this, I don't know. We're just living like in such amazing times as Star Wars fans, right? Like thinking about, like, we've got The Mandalorian and Grogu in May, Ahsoka season 2 sometime this year, more Star Wars Visions.
Shadow Lord just around the corner.
Shadow Lord is next month.
Days away.
Yeah, it is so crazy. And then, next year is the 50th anniversary. We've got A New Hope, we've got Star Wars Celebration, we got Starfighter. Oh man. Things are good right now, and it is good to be a Star Wars fan, and I'm so glad that you guys joined us for this episode. You guys are incredible. I love your podcast. Everybody needs to go find their podcast and listen to it. They've done some recent episodes, some of my favorites. Greedo, a whole episode about Greedo, which is great. The Doors of The Empire Strikes Back.
That's so
incredible.
Awesome. Like Alex told me about that, and I was like, "Yeah, this makes a ton of sense. We're all gonna fit right in there." I love that.
I mean, great stuff. So find Blast Points on wherever you listen to podcasts, because you are missing out if you're not listening to them. They are great Star Wars podcasters and people. So definitely check them out. Where can they find you? Do you have a social media presence? Where can they find you guys?
Yeah, we have a website, blastpointspodcast.com, that lists all the episodes. That's a good way to find older episodes. You can search on there if you where are all the episodes about Return of the Jedi? You can find it on there. Yeah. And then on social media, what are we on? Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook. I think it's just look for Blast Points. I don't even know what the address is.
Well, the links are all on the website too.
That's true. If you go to the website, it's all there.
Smart.
Cool. Smart. Awesome. Well, this was a blast, guys. Thank you again so much for joining us.
This was a Blast Points.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again. Listeners, thank you all so much for listening. I just wanted to remind everybody again about Anakin's Army and the Fight Like a Jedi campaign. We've got a listener that we're all just trying to support and help out. You can find links there in the description and all that. If you like what we do and you've already contributed to the Fight Like a Jedi campaign, you can check us out on Patreon for all kinds of bonus content, all of that kind of stuff. Patreon.com/Mandalorian Watch. For just $2 a month, you get access to, again, all those bonus episodes and a cool Discord community and all kinds of other stuff. And then another way you can help us out is by leaving a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. That goes a long way to getting other people in on the conversation, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you check out Blast Points and everything they're doing. But I think that will do it for this week. We'll be back with another installment of the Mandalorian Rewatch very soon. But until then, keep the watch.